Namaste, I'm Nikita, and I simplify your journey by sharing my journey to guide your transition from karma to dharma. Today, I'm going to teach you the full stop method. Now, this method was taught to me by an amazing organization, and I'm going to credit them in the description below. So, if you find yourself overthinking, over worrying, or over analyzing on a daily basis, you must watch this video. Grab your journal, make notes, because what I'm about to teach you might just be a game changer. As I said, I'm Nikita, and I simplify your journey by sharing my journey. I blend spirituality with practicality. So let's dive right in. What is the full stop method and how can we use it on a daily basis? Well, as I say, it's for those of you who find yourself worrying a lot of the time. I know that I used to worry before I started my journey. In fact, I would even be just doing something normal like watching TV, and I'd find that my attention would move away from the program that I was watching, the characters, and actually just go off somewhere else. And I'd start thinking about my day or worrying or analyzing what's happened, speculating what's going to happen the next day. Do you ever find yourself doing that? If so, you must learn this method. Another thing that I used to do is whenever I used to get invited out somewhere, I'd always ask the organizer beforehand, is there parking there? What time's everybody arriving? How many people are going to be there? What type of food is being served? Is there any entertainment? Like, I'd want to know so much detail about this event. And one day my friend said to me, whoa, Nikita, chill out. Why do you need to know that level of detail? What about having that element of surprise? And I was quite taken aback by that. And that's when I realized that my questioning was not right. It wasn't normal. And it's not the way I wanted to be perceived as somebody that was always worrying about things. So I decided to fix it and work on myself. And that's when I found this full stop method. So the full stop method is basically when you find yourself in that situation where you're going over again and again and again, recognize that that is coming from the lower mind. So remember, I've talked a lot about this in my previous videos, and if you haven't seen them, please refer back to them. Otherwise, you may not really understand what I mean. But the lower self is the ego mind. It's the shadow self, the logical, rational, analytical part of the brain, which is good. It's great to have that. But when we're overusing that, that's when we don't tap into a higher self, which is our wisdom. So because our higher self knows best, it knows what's right for us. What tends to happen is if we follow the lower mind too much, we miss out on opportunities. For example, if you're going to an event and you put, you know everything that's going to happen beforehand, you have a plan of action of where you're going to go, what route you're going to take, where you're going to park, everything is set in your mind. But your soul might have something else planned for you. It may be that you're supposed to go in another car park and meet somebody there, bump into an old friend or something. Perhaps you're supposed to take a different route to avoid traffic or an accident. So your soul, your wisdom, your intuition knows what's best for you. The logical mind is only going to be able to get you so far. And so one thing I encourage people to do is to really tap in to that intuition. And how do we do that? Well, first of all, we need to quieten down the logical mind, and that's where the full stop method comes in. So there are 3 ways to exercise this method. If you haven't already done so, please grab your journal because you don't want to miss out on this. Write these 3 ways down. The first way is to visualize a full stop in your mind. So the third eye, which is located here, the center of the forehead, that's where the higher self is located. So that's where it's the seat of the soul, if you like. That's why when we look into somebody's eyes, we say the eyes are the window to the soul. Just this location here is where your soul sits. So when you visualize your full stop, I want you to visualize it here. So just see a dot in your mind's eye. The second way is to use your hand and draw a dot. So literally go like that in the air. You can do it under your table. If you're at work and you're overthinking, you might be in a meeting and you don't want people to see what you're doing. So just do it discreetly. This is why this mudra is there. So you probably see people when they meditate. There's a few reasons why this mudra is there. And one of them is to seal the energy. So it's creating this circle motion. And so all of the energy that we are creating in the meditation gets sealed into this space, and it's representing the cyclic nature of the universe. But the second reason is because it makes this dot. So, as I say, the second way is you can pick up your hand and draw a dot. So just imagine that you've got a pen in your hand and you're drawing it. Or the first way is to visualize it, just like you would if you were typing a sentence, you would put a dot at the end. We don't want a comma. We don't want a dash. We want a dot. And then the third way, I love this way, actually, I think it's my favorite, is to say the words full stop in your mind. Okay, so imagine this scenario now. You're sitting, you're watching TV, or you're doing your daily activities, you're driving, whatever you're doing, and your mind starts going off on a rant. It starts chattering, it starts saying, oh, I don't think that that person likes you, and I think that they were looking at you this way, and I didn't like the way that they did this or he did this. That's all chatter. That's waste thought. Okay, so we have three types of thoughts. One is positive, one is negative, one is waste. And then, of course, there's neutral as well, which is where we want to eventually become thoughtless. But that that's a waste thought. You know that it's not serving you well, it's taking up energy, and you don't want that. So that's when you say the words to yourself, full stop. Okay, you can say them out loud if you're driving. If you haven't got anybody around you, you can even say them out loud. I remember when I was at the beginning of using this method in my own practice, I was using all three on a regular basis. So I was visualizing the dot, then I was drawing the dot, and then I was saying full stop. And I cannot explain how much it helped me to just be able to really be present and to control the mind and just relax. And then a measure of that was when I did start getting invitations to go places, I didn't ask them what's going to happen, where's it going to be, how many people are going to be there. Like, I was just confident enough to show up and just be me and see what happens. And if there's 10 people, there's 100 people, I don't mind, because I'm just open to the opportunities of the day. And that's really the difference from being in the lower self and being in the higher self. The lower self wants to keep you in this box, this bubble that's safe and small. But the higher self is expansive. It wants you to grow. And so you saying no to going somewhere when really that idea or that thought has come from the higher self means that you are missing out on something. Okay. Now, we've all heard of FOMO before. FOMO is fear of missing out. But there are two types of FOMO. One is coming from the lower self, like, oh, I wish I had gone because everybody else went and now I'm going to be left out. Or they're all going to be talking about how good it was and I wasn't there. So that's coming from lack, from insecurity, from self-doubt, lack of confidence. Like, there's so many negative things behind that. Rejection, abandonment, that we could just continue peeling the layers of that thought process. But the other type of FOMO is coming from the higher self. And it's like, I wish I had done that because I know that that was good for me. And that feeling is one of the worst feelings you could ever experience. Knowing that you were meant to do something and it was your soul telling you to do it. It was your intuition whispering and you went against it. It's called FOMO of the soul. And to avoid you getting into that, I really want you to use this method. The full stop method is going to help you to transition from lower self to higher self so that you can start to step into that expansive state, be in flow, and be able to receive the opportunities that the universe wants to give you. So, what were those 3 ways again? Number 1, visualize the dot. Number 2, draw the dot. Number 3, say full stop. I hope that this has been helpful. If so, please leave your comments in the box below. I would love to make more videos like this. So if you have any topics or themes that you'd like me to discuss or explore, please let me know, and I will definitely do my best to answer any questions or specific queries that you have. After all, this is spirituality with practicality. I'll see you in the next video.
Are you ready?
Namaste. Like, follow, and subscribe to stay in my world.